Silence. A silence so deep and heavy it felt like space itself had forgotten how to breathe. Aslan, a 16-year-old student, was seated in his pod aboard the floating Aurora School ship, heading with a group of elite students on a science mission to a research colony called New Hope, 12 light-years from Earth. Everything was calm until it wasn't. As the ship passed through a strange galactic zone, flickers of blue and green light started streaking across the sky outside the windows. The stars blurred, time slowed, and space seemed to twist. Then suddenly turbulence hit. Alarms blared. Lights flickered. Gravity faltered. Screams echoed through the corridors. The students and teachers clung to their seats. Objects floated and crashed. Everything was chaos. Then the intercom crackled. All passengers remain calm. This is an emergency. We are under the influence of an unknown. The voice cut off. The ship shuddered violently one last time. And then, nothing. Aslan opened his eyes. He was no longer in the ship. He was lying on the ground of an alien world. The air was cold. The sky was dim. The terrain was made of strange bluish rocks. "Am I dead?" he whispered. But before he could think further, strange sounds reached his ears. Not human, not natural. Some things were approaching. Creatures tall, silent, metallic. Their weapons hummed. Their eyes were pale and merciless. Aslan's heart pounded. He turned to run. But then, out of nowhere, a voice spoke, this one in perfect human language. "Stop, are you human?" Startled, Aslan turned. A girl with glowing orange eyes and faintly blue skin emerged from behind a boulder. She looked human, almost. "My name is Lorena. I'm a prisoner too. If you want to live, come with me." Without thinking, Aslan grabbed her hand and ran. The cave was narrow, damp, and lit by faint glowing moss that pulsed like a heartbeat. Aslan stumbled through it, following Lorena, who moved with surprising speed for someone who had just declared herself a prisoner. "Where are we?" he finally asked, his breath short. Lorena didn't stop. Beneath the Zyphorian southern outpost, it used to be a mining facility, long abandoned, until they turned it into a prison for humans and hybrids. "Hybrids?" Aslan echoed, confused. "You'll understand soon," she said. "Keep moving." They passed skeletal remains of long-forgotten machines. The air smelled like rust and something older, like the memory of war. Eventually, they reached a tunnel that led into a massive underground chamber, protected by a translucent energy field. Inside were hundreds of people. Children, adults, elders, all from Earth. Some wore Aurora School uniforms. Others wore suits from different colonies. Some were barely clothed. Many were thin, bruised, and tired, their eyes hollow. Aslan froze. "Oh my God. They've taken everyone." Lorena nodded. "Not just your ship. Zyphorians have been doing this for years, quietly, strategically. Humanity doesn't even know how many have disappeared." Aslan's heart twisted. His classmates. His teachers. His little sister Lena, who had begged to come on this educational trip. Had she survived? Lorena placed a hand on his shoulder. "If she's alive, we'll find her. But first you need to understand what you're part of now." Before Aslan could ask, a low hum spread across the cave. The energy field dissolved, and tall Zyphorian guards marched in. Each of them had glistening silver armor embedded into their bodies, and eyes that shimmered like black holes. Everyone stood still. A Zyphorian stepped forward, holding a data rod. It spoke in perfect English, its voice cold and echoing. "You are not prisoners. You are chosen." Aslan clenched his fists. "Chosen for what?" The Zyphorian tilted its head. "For integration." Lorena whispered quickly. "They won't explain. They never do. They just start changing people." Suddenly a name echoed across the cave. "Subject Aslan Virex, Priority 1. He froze. The guards moved toward him. Lorena stepped between them. "He's not ready." One guard struck her aside without a word. Aslan was grabbed by both arms, dragged across the floor as others watched in fearful silence. The chamber door hissed open. He was taken down another corridor, cleaner, smoother and lit by soft white light. The walls hummed. They reached a sealed room where a strange orb hovered in the air. "Let me go," Aslan shouted, struggling. The orb descended, scanning him. Then something odd happened. The orb pulsed red and the guard suddenly paused. They exchanged glances, then turned to him. One of them said something in Zyphorian or a language Aslan couldn't understand, but the tone was unmistakable, confused. The orb scanned again, and again it turned red. Then, for the first time, the guard in charge leaned in and asked, "What are you?" The silence of space was only on the surface. Deep beneath that quiet, the Zyphorian species had already laid out their battle strategy. Humanity, too, had now run out of patience. Captain Arif's voice once again echoed through Azadi Station. "We've tried every path to peace, but now it's time for humanity to prove. We don't just talk, we act." Preparation for war. Dr. Mahtab had completed his experiment on the neuronic link, a revolutionary brain interface that allowed pilots to control spacecraft through thought alone. "This isn't just technology," he whispered. "It's the extension of human will." Lieutenant Zara, once merely a research officer, was now the lead pilot of the new gen fighter, Shaheen X. With her was a squadron, young, bold, and ready. The first strike. The Hyphorians launched a wide-band signal to hack into human networks. But what they hadn't expected was that humans had developed a quantum firewall, a defensive system that not only blocked the hack, but reversed its direction. "Captain Arif, they mistook our silence for weakness. Now they'll get caught in our web." The human fleet advanced, streaking across the darkness of space. Like a glowing spear, its target, planet Zaran 5, command center of the enemy. The eye contact moment. Upon entering Zaran 5's orbit, a massive plasma beam surged toward the human ships, but Shaheen X dodged it gracefully and countered using recoil thrusters. Zara had just one thought in her mind: our Earth, our right, our survival. For the first time, direct communication occurred between humans and the Zyphorian leader. Their face was octopus-like, but their eyes seemed to ask, "How can you possibly match us?" Captain Arif calmly replied, "We are the species that went from stone tools to starships. We've made the impossible possible. You cannot defeat us." The climactic clash. The battle began. Humans deployed all their innovations, mental interfaces, strategic coordination, and most of all, unity. The Zyphorians, while advanced, began losing ground. Dr. Mahtab deployed the final weapon. "We've activated Frontline, our autonomous combat AI. This AI processed threats in real time from every angle, reacting with deadly precision. Humanity triumphs. At last, the Zyphorian leader transmitted a message. You are not what we expected now. We want to learn from you." Captain Arif looked into their eyes and said only this: "You tested us. Now you will learn what it means to be human." After the defeat of the Zyphorians, peace settled over space for the first time. But it was a deceptive calm, like a still river hiding powerful currents beneath. Captain Arif and his team were now heading toward the Zyphorian peace vessel on a diplomatic mission. The goal, officially end the war. The first interstellar summit. On the neutral planet Naran 6, both species' top leaders gathered. From humanity, Dr. Mahtab, Lieutenant Zara, and Captain Arif. From the Zyphorian side, Cyber Psych Counselor, General Rego, and Supreme Leader Ezthra. Ezthra, for the first time, spoke in the human language. "We now understand humans are not just flesh and bone. You are will and reason." Captain Arif responded firmly. "We came for a treaty, not terms of surrender." The Mind Bridge experiment. The Zyphorians offered a stunning proposal. The Mind Bridge, a mental interface, allowing representatives of both races to link directly with each other's thoughts. Despite the risks, Dr. Mahtab agreed, and the experiment began. The result? Human emotions, love, sacrifice, freedom, were alien to the Zyphorians, and their cold logic and emotional detachment baffled the humans. But a connection had been made. Hidden betrayal. During this time, Lieutenant Zara noticed that a Zyphorian engineer, Darklock, was secretly uploading code into the human neuronic link systems. "This isn't peace, it's a mental trap." Zara immediately sounded the alert. Captain Arif, dropping all diplomacy, warned them in blunt terms. "We spared you, but we are not fools. A dual strategy." The Zyphorian leadership was now split. One faction genuinely wanted peace. The other feared humans and wanted to eliminate them. General Rego launched a coup. An explosion rocked Noran 6. War was knocking once again. Escape and discovery. Dr. Mahtab quickly reactivated the frontline AI for defense. Zara and Arif captured Darklock and uncovered a hidden file. The file's name was Operation Rewire, subjugate Earth in 7 cycles. The humans now knew this wasn't a peace treaty. It was just a tactic to buy time for conquest. A new kind of war. Captain Arif declared, "This is no longer a war between two species. It's a war of ideas, freedom versus control." After uncovering the Xipherian conspiracy, humanity was left with only 2 choices. 1. Remain on the defensive, always under threat. 2. Strike at the root and end the threat forever. Captain Arif made his decision. "We won't wait. We'll go in and shatter their system from within." Mission Operation Zero Core. This was to be the most secretive and dangerous mission in human history. The objective: reach the Xipherian planet Core Z and destroy their central cybermind, the massive AI that governed all Xipherian strategy and decisions. The team: Captain Arif, Commander; Lieutenant Zara, Pilot and Neural Hacker; Dr. Mahtab, AI and Systems Specialist; Robo Unit K9, Combat Drone Companion. Infiltrating enemy territory. To get inside enemy lines, they used the neuronic cloak, a technology that masked thought frequencies, rendering them undetectable to the Xipherian scanners. Dr. Mahtab warned, "This cloak will only last 72 minutes. After that, we'll be fully visible." On Core Z, every corridor was guarded by drones, cyber swarms, and mental scanners, but the team slipped through silently, face to face with the cybermind. At last, they reached the chamber that housed the cybermind, a glistening silver shell, surrounding a million thoughts, pulsing with pure logic. Lieutenant Zara initiated a neural connection. The cybermind's voice echoed coldly, "Human, your emotional reasoning is flawed. We are logic incarnate. You will die here." Captain Arif stepped forward and declared, "And it is emotion that makes us something you'll never be, alive." The ultimate sacrifice. When they tried to destroy the core, the cybermind activated its self-shield protocol. It could only be overloaded from inside, a suicide mission. Dr. Mahtab took a step forward. "All my life's work has led to this. Let me go." The team resisted, but he smiled. "If we seek victory without sacrifice, we're no different from them." He entered the chamber. The aftermath. A blinding explosion. The cybermind was obliterated. Every Xipherian drone fell silent. Their empire's central control was broken. Supreme Leader Esthra's final transmission. "You've shown us that emotion is not weakness. It is strength." Captain Arif looked up to the stars and whispered, "Mahtab, today, you saved all of humanity." Subscribe to my YouTube channel Part 2.